Jeff, if I could come to you next for a perspective from BCG Ventures, and maybe you can talk a bit about how we're going to bankroll all this, because we're at about 350 billion of investment in clean energy at the moment. We have to get up to $1 trillion, and then pretty quick up to trillions a year.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, guys. We don't get a lot of forums to talk because we're a pretty quiet organization on the venture side, but we're also quite large. We're about 400 people with 7 centers around the world. Me being headquartered here in London, so London is definitely important. I think what we would say is we're activating the $2 trillion market, and in that we're seeing the disruption you're seeing now in tech and transportation. If you go, is coming from about 5 years ago. That's all the startups you're seeing, the investments you're seeing are coming from about 5 years ago. And if you look at today, just our numbers, the number of startups in transportation are twice as many as they were 5 years ago, and the funding is tripled. So that's the disruption that we're going to see coming. So we're pretty excited about it from our perspective, and there's a number of things we're working on.
Manuela, welcome, Richard.
Thank you, Jeremy.
We're just in the first round of questions about the overview, so you haven't missed that much. So Manuela, the logistics industry in DHL, how do these changes look to you in terms of opportunities, threats maybe?
Logistics is really a mirror of all the other industries. When there are changes in the sectors or in the countries, normally you have like a second wave. So for us, the key is really to be able to manage the unexpected. And for that, innovation is one of the key. So we definitely see platform like Formula E as a key element, a good way to have concrete innovation. We also had about innovation when we using sound. I have sound. What do you think about innovation? Or to manage the unexpected? It's working? Yeah. That's what we say. It's always about managing the unexpected. Thank you for that. So to be able to innovate in a concrete way, it's not about having... I think you should all come very close so that you can hear well in any manner. So it's about everybody innovating in a company or in the organization or in the ecosystem. So it's not only the innovation department, it should be people working in the different departments, all innovating, all focusing on the same level. And in that sense, innovation was really key for starting at DHL. If we come back on history, the DHL brand started with only 3 people who had an idea and who focused on that. And even though now we are almost 500,000 of people, it's still the same feeling in the belly and the willingness to innovate. And that's also the only way to be able to manage the unexpected. It's to be ready to really listen to what's happening on the market, to listen to people. I think that to deliver the world, we need to understand the world. And in that sense, Internet of Things and different technologies are helpful.
Thank you. Let's come to you. I'm just going to speak very loudly and hope that people are hearing even if the microphone's not on. So, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, you're all over this, every sector of it. How does it all look and feel to you, the sustainability agenda as it applies to the topic of this discussion and the Paris context?
Thanks, Jeremy. And good morning, everyone. And I'd like to say thank you very much to DS Virgin Racing for inviting us here today. And it's such a beautiful day, isn't it? I couldn't think of a better day to be sitting up here and thinking about the future of technology and innovation. For us, it's really all about bringing together sort of people, ideas, and then using technology to pull all of that together. And that's one of the reasons why we have the partnership with DS Virgin Racing. For us and for me, I think everybody hears about the word big data, which is all about the amount of data we collect. And we work closely with DS Virgin Racing in terms of collecting data from both the racing drivers, the car, and the track, and then using that information to actually give DS Virgin Racing the opportunity and the insights to be able to improve what they do on the track and on the circuit. So for us, it's about collecting all that data. And I think it's important to understand, we all talk about sort of the cloud, mobility, and things that are going to happen in the future. But really, the cloud is just a very, very big warehouse that we call a data center with lots and lots of computers in there. So for us, it's about how do we make ourselves more energy efficient? What are the key things that we need to do with both our products and the way that we power our data centers? And I know one of the themes today is very much around renewable energy. So for us, for example, here in the UK, we use 100% renewable energy from wind. Going forward, we've set some goals and things around looking at how much renewable energy we'll be using in the future. But it's also about the amount of energy that the products themselves use. And then finally, the other point I want to get in there is, for example, how do you cool your data center? One of the biggest issues that we have is that it takes about as much energy to cool a data center as it does to actually run it and do the IT in there. And a great example we have is up north, where it's a little bit fresher than here, we use fresh air to cool our data centers. So that's reducing the amount of energy we need by about 90-95%.